Hi guys, Steph here and welcome back to the channel, and today we are doing an oracle card reading based on the guidance, the inspiration and the wisdom that's available to us for April. So I've asked for several cards with that intention, just giving us some higher perspective, things to focus on, things to embrace, things to avoid, things to let go of, things to grow. And also a major theme that is linked to the Libra full moon energies. And I have already done a Libra full moon specific oracle card reading. I posted that over on Instagram, so make sure you go follow me there. Shameless plug. You'll see down here I've also got 3 cards with crystals. As we go through the reading, just see which one is attracting you the most. And at the end of the video, I'll show you how to get this specific reading that's more detailed for you, or that will be in the description box, and I'll explain that at the end of the video. Okay, so we're going to start with the first card, which is the major theme for April, and it's Sisters of the Sun Rising. And this is a card all about collaboration. So in spirit of the Libra full moon, we're beginning to bring some of the spirit of reflection in about whether or not our collaborations with other people are balanced. And we can think professional, we can think personal, but even if you're not currently collaborating with anybody in particular in the physical realm, it can be also the spiritual realms that you're collaborating with. So making sure that you are not going too solitary in the month of April, that you are reaching out your antennas, feeling out and connecting with either like-minded souls in the physical realms or spirits, souls, even ancestors that can support you in your work in April. So really bringing in that collaboration, bringing in that work. If you are currently in collaboration with someone, personal, professionally, whatever you're doing, making sure that there is that spirit of balance and harmony in the collaboration, so your voice is being heard and the other person's voice is being heard. Really just beginning to reflect on how your unique skills, gifts and talents can begin to work together in a way that really complements each other, so the sum of the 2 separate parts becomes greater as a whole, if that makes sense. So you perhaps have been working solitary for, the last few months or even the past year, which, is highly likely because of COVID and the shutdowns. So it's really time, I think this came up in March, or maybe, anyway, this came up in a previous reading, but really begin to spread your antennas and collaborate with people, and making sure that that collaboration is in the spirit of bringing together your separate parts to make them stronger together. So that's sort of the theme for the month of April: collaboration in relationships and making yourself more powerful with other people rather than solitary work. Now, if you're not currently working with anyone and it is something that excites you to collaborate, you want to go forth, see if you can kind of spread your feelers out to work with like-minded souls, write a letter to the universe with that intention and be really specific about who it is you want to work with, whether it's like producers, musicians, artists, writers, publishers, anything like that. Write a letter to the universe about who that you want to connect with, and why you want to connect with them. You can get really specific about who it is, and then write your intention of why you want to connect with them, and just send gratitude for that connection. Begin to delve into how amazing it would be to work with the people that you want to work with, and don't set your sights low, set it as high as you can, and begin to feel and appreciate how amazing it would be to connect with those people, and how much you can learn, how much you can share, and how much you can grow together. Write that out, a letter to the universe. Think of it as like a energetic advertisement out there, and just put your letter somewhere safe, like on your altar, your meditation space, even in your journal or something like that, and really begin to attune yourself and set that intention for the spirit of collaboration for April, because it will serve you well, especially if you are true to yourself in that endeavor and you are working together with people that you can complement each other, and the sum of the separate parts is greater as a whole. Anyway. Okay, so the next card is a message from Spirit about what to avoid in April. So we've got Shining Lotus. And I think this links really nicely to this collaboration card, because Shining Lotus is asking you a question. have you been hiding in a spiritual closet, if you will? So have you been hiding your beliefs about certain ways of being in the world? Are you sharing your authentic self with the people around you? Avoid hiding in that spiritual closet. Avoid hiding in that, whatever closet you want to call it. And that could be a literal thing if you are wanting to come out to your family, your friends, or whatever. That could be something as well. But it's saying that April's a time to really just step into your most authentic version of yourself. And over on Instagram, the reading that I did, there was a whole card dedicated to speaking truth. And that really just cuts out all the illusions, all the bullshit that can manifest in your life if you're not speaking your truth. If perhaps you're saying things because that's socially acceptable to act that way within your group. Perhaps out of fear of not being accepted, being misunderstood, being rejected, whatever it is, it can be a really scary thing to step up and begin to speak your truth and show who you are in the world through your actions. But yeah, this card is saying avoid hiding in the closet. Just play around and experiment with speaking your truth in different situations. And when you do that, the electromagnetic signature that you're sending out will begin to either repel or attract people. And just trust that when you are your most authentic version of yourself right now, and that will evolve and change, and that's fine. And you may not even know who your most authentic version of yourself is because you haven't even stepped forth and tried. Just experiment, just play in April with telling the truth. And you know in your own head when you're about to say something that's just a lie. Practice, perhaps not even telling the truth, but just not lying is a good way to start. And you might find that you'll speak less and less and less, and that's fine. That's still a version of authenticity, not saying things that are lies. Even though, speaking the truth is a whole nother level. It's challenging because a lot of us don't know our truth, but perhaps start with just not lying, just not saying things that you know not to be true, and seeing how that changes your electromagnetic vibration and will either attract or repel people. The people that you repel, that's good. They are not there on your spiral of evolution. The people that you attract, that's amazing because they are there with you on your spiral. Doesn't mean you surround yourself by yes men and everyone's the same as you and everyone believes the same thing as you. It's okay for people to believe things that are different from you. That's completely fine. It's actually even important. What this card is talking about is not hiding in the spiritual closet, saying things that are true, or at least not saying things that are untrue, if that makes sense. So just play around with that in April. Okay, so the next card that represents what to embrace is the Dance Unveiling. And it's a beautiful card that's telling us or reminding us to embrace the unknown, because especially when we're moving into collaboration and experimenting with telling the truth and authenticity, we don't know what the outcome's going to be. And we're not supposed to know. It's part of the journey. It's part of like the hero's journey, being courageous and stepping forth into this unknown and just seeing what happens. So embrace the unknown, embrace the unknown. You don't know what's going to happen. I can't really tell you more than that. So just trust the process, let go of any outcomes, and just experiment and play in April. You're not meant to know the outcome of these practices. Embrace it and just trust that when that card comes up, yeah, it's unknown. You might be walking into chaos, out of order where there's security, but you are safe in that. That's what the card wants you to know. All right, then the next card represents what we need to let go of, or what we need to begin experimenting letting go of in the month of April. And the card is Dynasty of the Divine Mother. And basically what it's saying is begin to let go of and break down your ideas or, I guess, beliefs and perceptions about what spiritual enlightenment looks like. There's a saying, an Eastern saying, I don't know if it's a Buddhist saying or a Taoist saying, but before enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. After enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. So sometimes we can think of our spiritual path as this metaphysical, mystical thing, but really our greatest spiritual temple is just our day-to-day life. And the things that happen every day, and our minor routines, like the interactions we have with our family, the interactions we have on our drive to work. Every single small daily thing that you encounter is your spiritual temple. And it's not, just when you go to classes like yoga classes, or not just when you sit down to read your cards, or not just when you meditate or chant. The real work happens off the mat, so to speak, when you're in hard conversations with your partner, when you're doing the same repetitive tasks that you've done for the last God knows how many years of your life. I had actually a moment this morning, it's coming up, with the washing, and I was getting the washing out of the washing machine. I'm like, how many times have I fucking done this in my life? Like, how many times have I leaned into a washing machine and picked out the washing and went to hang on the line? Like, when does this end? And it kind of just this little voice kind of came over and just laughed at me, and just it doesn't end. Like, chop wood, carry water. It's a never-ending journey, this spiritual enlightenment. You never come to a point where you just sit on top of the mountain and meditate for the rest of your life because you've reached spiritual enlightenment. So let go of any ideas about how you should feel, or what you should be doing, or how much success you should have because you're on the spiritual path. Just let go of that and just delve into the mundane, day-to-day aspects of your life, which are your true spiritual temple and the catalyst for the most growth in all dimensions of your life. So and the last card is Enter the Jade Temple. So this card is all about what to grow. So in spirit of letting go of all that kind of ego stuff, we are beginning to just grow into our own spiritual temple. And it's funny that we brought up temple there and Enter the Jade Temple. So inside of you is a place of ultimate purity, if you will, peace, stillness, regardless of outside circumstances. The place within your heart center, the ancients or the gurus and the masters said that our inner guide, our soul, our teacher, sits in the center of your heart, deep in meditation, waiting for you. And the most profound, beautiful way to access that spiritual guide, that teacher, that higher self energy, is through meditation, dropping down through heart coherence, through heart chakra meditations, in that meditative state, and aligning your consciousness, aligning your energy with that divine frequency of peace and stillness and joy that exists within you. So grow into that in April. Come back to your practice of heart-centered meditation, peace, stillness, even if it's just for 5-10 minutes a day. That we talked about in that card, What to Let Go Of, is this idea that spiritual enlightenment happens in a meditation practice. You can enter that spiritual jade temple at any point in your day, like when you're driving to work and traffic's busy and you're sitting in a light. There's time, a couple of minutes, just to enter that temple within you. Drop down into your heart center, breathe in and out, focus on what you're grateful for, say 1 or 2 things while the light's red. I think I got that off Eckhart Tolle, actually. That's not something I made up. But there are times in your life when there's so much chaos going around you, and you can and I guess that's what I had in my washing machine moment. It's like I was really frustrated picking up these socks at the bottom of the washing machine, and I just had this moment of that inner guide coming out and just laughing and joking and saying this is it. This is it. And you can enter that space of joy and stillness and gratitude and love at any moment in your day. The more you practice it, so the more you do formal meditation practices, the more easy it is it's going to be able to drop into it any time in your life. So don't take that previous card as don't meditate, don't read your cards. Do your work, but practice accessing that in April at any time in your life, and just play around with that. I think I said in a previous reading that my spirit guide is a mountain goat, or my animal guide is a mountain goat. He's kind of attached to, this other spiritual guide that I haven't connected with too much, but only just recently found out. It's a really joyful, kind of funny man. And I think he came in that kind of ridiculousness vibe of why take things so seriously. Just, this is it. This is the moment. This is all you've got. And just come into it with joy and laughter, because these little things are never going to end. You're always going to have to cook dinner. You're always going to have to put the clothes on the line. You're always going to have to drive to work. this is your spiritual temple and this is your life, and embrace it. I'm going to leave that there for the reading. If you've enjoyed it, if you liked it, please click the like button, leave a comment down below your thoughts or your feedback about this reading. And with these cards, what I'm going to do is just make a separate quick little video for each of these. I'll have the link to it down in the description box below. So if you want to dive deeper into any specific guidance that you have for April, choose a crystal and check the description box down below. Click the links and I'll see you there, guys.